everyone, welcome back to the channel. As you can see from the title, this is GoodReads 1-star reviews of Heated Rivalry. Now, I'm going to throw my husband under the bus because this was his idea and only his idea. I love Heated Rivalry. And he thought it basically would be a funny way to make me cry because people are being mean. If you've been living under a rock and don't know what Heated Rivalry is, I don't know what to tell you, but but it is the second book in Rachel Reed's hockey male romance book series called Game Changers. This is the second book. There is a follow-up, which is the 6th book in the series, and she has recently just announced that she will be writing a 3rd book, which carries on with the same couple. Each book in the series is a different couple. This book in particular, Heated Rivalry, has been made into a TV show, which was extremely popular. It's become like this global phenomenon. She says, try to say phenomena or phenomenon. Phenomena? Anyway, the worldwide popularity of this, I think it's just taken a lot of people by surprise. Again, as you know, on this channel, we are not making comments on the writing unless it's a critique or a review. It's just a good time. I love watching ice hockey anyway. Ice hockey. Some of my other videos, I'm actually wearing my Tampa shirt. But I genuinely love ice hockey. It is one of my... It's the only sport I watch. I was going to say it's one of my favourite sports. Although Winter Olympics are coming in. It's nearly time for curling. But ice hockey is just fun. I am somebody that likes the fast pace. I like the attitude. I just like the sassiness of the players. It's fast. The rules aren't difficult to get to know. It's just a really fun sport to get into. And I'm in the UK as well. And we do have hockey, but it's just not as big here. But I did get the book. So I got Heated Rivalry as part of my Smut and Sip subscription, and I didn't know anything about it. I did see a couple of weeks after I received it, it was talked about in some of the romance subreddits, because I'm in all of them. And this is the absolutely stunning copy that Smut and Sip did of it. It's always like printed naked hardbacks. They never have a dust cover on them. And it's just fantastic. The long game is my favourite out of the two. As you know from my end of year video, the long game actually won the showdown between all of my top rated books of the year because I just felt it was like, it had that depth to it that I felt like this one was missing. But you needed this one to get there. This was the one that this book details their relationship over the years that gets them to a point where they actually are a couple. And then the long game carries on from that. And I know there's the books in between. I know there is guest appearances from the characters that are in this. And apparently that plays I would not say quite an important part because I skipped over it and I didn't really miss anything. But apparently it does play a part in it. And it is interesting to see, like Ilya especially, interacting. So, without further ado, let's go to GoodReads. So on GoodReads, Heated Rivalry has a rating of 4.32. It has had 207,881 reviews, 207,881 ratings, and 39,359 reviews. There are only 979 1-star reviews, which is less than 1%. So, let's read it. Oh, the first one's really long. We don't do long review reads in this. Let's skip. We're skipping. Jesus, my God. The person that wrote this did not like the book. DNF. I guess I'm just going to watch the show. Sad face. Because no offence, this book is filled with smut. At the beginning more, yes. And I simply can't take it anymore. I actually like the characters, not going to lie. If they weren't constantly focused on lusting after each other, I would have loved them. I started the book, the prologue shows up, I'm reading, everything is going down, and then suddenly they're doing it. What? Like, please, at least leave the poor prologue alone. The prologue is where it goes forward in time a little bit. And then after every 2 to 3 chapters, they're back banging each other. For the majority of their relationship until the end of the book, they are hooking up. It's only hook up only when they see each other. I'm so sorry, but I came here to read. So when I said to my husband that I was going to read these reviews, I'm like, it's just going to be me arguing with the review. And I've already started. I'm so sorry, but I came here to read the plot, not how they're lusting over each other every 5 minutes. I even tried to push through, but seriously, every 2 chapters? Can't take it anymore. That being said, I don't think I'll be able to continue this series. I'll watch the show though. Maybe the adaptation will redeem it. Yeah, that's it, guys. Love you all. I mean, the book doesn't omit the smut. The TV show does not omit any smut at all. So, good luck. I am literally going to just sit and argue with people because I love these books. I love the characters. I'm very, very attached to the characters. And I'm not saying it's a perfect book. I think there are flaws. However, I do think, especially somebody that follows hockey culture, to be fair, like athletic culture in the US, it's really bizarre. There's like, I actually looked it up. In the NHL, the NFL, and the NBA, there are no out gay players, which I thought was really sad. I'm not gonna lie. It made me a bit sad. It made me a little bit teary because I'm like, that's just not possible. Statistics will say that that is not possible, which means there's a lot of people that just aren't living their lives, getting to love who they want to love. And that kind of makes me sad. Because everybody should just be able to love who they want to love. It doesn't matter. Sorry, I'll get back off my soapbox. So I had a reread. Turns out I missed some shit the first time. This book doesn't work for me anymore. Oh, they revised it. It looks like it may have been a higher rating. This book doesn't work for me anymore. Don't kill me. It's not my fault. Ilya's an absolute asshole. Yes, he is. I missed that out with all the sex going on the first time I read this. 6% of the book was Shane getting fucked 6 ways to Sunday. Oops. Shane is a fucking doormat that you put outside the bathroom. This is not a romance. Nope, this ain't love. This ain't chemistry. It's just lots of hot sex. Sorry to say, but there wasn't really much plot. Well, I had to know, and now I do, and I regret it. I mean, I am somebody that feels like I can't genuinely criticise something unless I've read it. With that motto meant I read some of 50 Shades of Grey, and I deeply regretted it too. Joanna, I know where you're coming from. Some of these are really long. I feel like a lot of people have got a lot to say because of how much love this book gets as well. I was fully expecting to come in here and just have things like just ripped apart because people love to hate on something popular. This one just says, y'all are porn addicts. If someone... I don't know what that says. If someone... somebody will say this book has a deeper meaning, I'm going to lose my shit. It's a romance. It's not that deep. 1 star is too much for this. Thank you, Serena. A lot of y'all just haven't read hockey fanfic, and it shows. And I've read a lot of hockey romance. Just binge read because I started the show adaptation. The show is way better than the book. Here it feels like a Wattpad fanfic. I cringed so much there is no romance. I mean, there's one that's got show more arrow, and the bit of it starts, arguably one of the worst books I've ever read, and definitely the worst gay book I've ever read. Where to start? And I'm like, I don't want to click that down arrow because I feel like it's going to be really long. It's going to take me forever to scroll. So we're going to ignore it. Wow, this is truly something. I have no problems with the book being mostly smut, but the writing? It feels gross reading graphic sex scenes written at a 3rd grade level. Also, I have a sneaking suspicion that Rachel Reed doesn't know anything about hockey. Actually, she does. She does. She's a Habs fan, so she does watch hockey. I mean, just saying. Just saying. I love the 60% of this novel so much I tried the audio, but the narrator annoyed me. He is one of those who gasps very loud for every... He's one of those who gasps very loud before every sentence. Or maybe it is one narrator with 2 pseudonyms. Further, except for the quotes, the tone of his every sentence is the same, bland without inflection or emotion. So this is purely on the audiobook. This is narrator. This isn't even on the subject of the book. It's just they didn't like the narrator. Fine. Yeah, I read this. Sue me. I wasn't going to log it, but a GoodReads challenge is a GoodReads challenge. Shut up. Again, no commentary on the actual book itself, just the fact that you read it. I mean, you've given it 1 star, but why? Give me some reasons. So I can argue with you, because I've got the camera. I tapped out of the first episode I tapped out of the episode... I tapped out of the first episode midway through. Why did I read the book? Nothing worse than an author who does nothing but mischaracterize their own characters. Also, obviously not enough hockey. This is why Beartown is goated. Bear Town, you say? I don't know what that is, but I'm going to be looking it up. Like a mid-Wattpad book that never got edited, and I'm astounded at how good the TV adaptation is when this was the source material. You put a capital letter in the middle of your sentence. One more. It wasn't that bad, to be honest. The 1 star makes it seem so dramatic, lol, but it just felt like there was a little book. Just felt like there was a little book in my porn, you know? My eyes started glazing over, at which point I realised how bored I was and how much the reheated OMGCP stale nachos were not hitting. Okay, well, now I've argued with people solidly for like 10 minutes about their good reviews. Like, there are some lengthy ones, and I'm sure they go into a lot more critical analysis of why the writing is terrible and why they hate it. However, I love this book, and everybody can shut their faces. As I've said before, if I get absorbed and interested in the story itself, I can kind of ignore bad writing. I become a little bit numb to it, and I'm like, I just want to know what happens to the characters. Just tell me a story. And I liken it to when you've got people telling you stories face to face. Some people, fantastic storytellers, it's big embellishments. Everybody's like involved and rooting for it and on the edge of their seats. And some people just aren't that great. But you're still interested in what they've got to say. And that's how I feel about some books which aren't necessarily the best written, but I do feel like the story... Sorry, my watch is telling me to go for a walk. Do you not know we read here? We don't go for walks. So that's how I feel about books. Some are fantastic storytellers. They're the ones that that could be in a theatre. And some are just your friends who can't string a sentence together, but you still want to know how it ends. I don't think there's anything particularly terrible in this writing. Do you know what? I give anybody a round of applause who actually sits down to write books of this length and gets traction and gets recognition and people read them, because just wow, that's insane in itself. We sat and binge watched the TV show a couple of weeks ago and I enjoyed it, but I think I enjoyed the book more. But I think personally it's because I didn't think Ilya... I like Connor. I just don't think Connor was the right Ilya, because this is what he's supposed to look like. That's not what he looks like. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this version of GoodReads 1-star reviews. I know Heated Rivalry is very topical. This was my husband's fault. Comment down below if there's any other books that you want me to read the 1-star reviews from, and I will always give it a go. Thank you very much, and I will see you next week.